Hi, this is Tanya from Love Buddha Tarot, back with the cards for the 24th of February 2017. These cards are going to run into the weekend as well. I've pulled another couple of cards for the weekend because I'm not going to do another video. I really need to conserve energy at the moment. Yesterday I was doing a reading. We have all of these crazy energies from the new moon and from the solar eclipse. And yesterday I was doing a reading and the plug was just pulled. I literally was just zapped. I couldn't go on, so I had to cancel a few readings yesterday. I have rearranged them, so if that was you, then I'm so sorry about that. Anybody who was expecting email readings yesterday, they will go out today. That is on my first to-do list. But when something like that happens, I got a really excruciating pain in my third eye, bizarrely enough, and that's it, I need to stop, and what they said, they were giving me a lot of channelings yesterday while I just took some quiet time. They didn't want me to be quiet, or they didn't want to be quiet, rather, I had to be quiet and just listen. And what they were saying is any sort of pain that you are experiencing is alerting you to something. Pain is there as our friend in a way. So if you have something wrong with your foot, then the pain is telling you, please don't walk on it. It needs time to rest. If you have some sort of pain within your soul, then this is telling you there is something that you need to change, on your soul's journey. Because if we are experiencing pain within daily life, we need to sort of look at the root cause of that and to stop that, Life isn't the pain, it's what we are experiencing during life that is causing the pain. So we need to actually delve in and see, be truthful with ourselves and see if your soul is in pain and if your soul is not living to its true potential, which our soul wants us to experience joy on a daily basis. This is what our soul does, this is what it does best. It wants us to have our dreams. It wants us to experience joy. It wants us to live the best life that we can. And if we are not doing that, we will actually feel that, and we will feel this in some sort of pain or trauma, within our lives. So that was the first thing that they brought in. So like I say, I just had to stop, and I'm very sorry about that, but I have got to be very careful with my energies, because when I get into burnout mode, then that's it. I couldn't be here for probably at least 4 weeks. That's what usually happens. I go into burnout and that's it. I'm sort of off the radar, and I don't want to do that. So like I say, I'm sorry about that. But this solar eclipse, I want to talk a little bit about this because there was some things came in yesterday, and I want to talk a little bit about this. It's very, very powerful. The cards today are massively powerful, and the cards this week I feel have been as well. But this solar eclipse, what they were saying is, we need to look within our life where we are deluding ourselves, where we are sort of living a delusion, and we need to look at areas where there is manipulation and where there is control as well. And one of the things that they said to me was, we need to get out of victim mode, and we need to be able to change our story. We need to do that, Nobody else is going to change our story for us. We need to do that. And by doing this is in order to do this, what we need to do is we need to surrender, which has came out this week, and we need to set healthy boundaries. Now, this is what I done yesterday, I don't like letting people down, but I'm not going to read for somebody if I'm not 100%, that they're not getting the best of me then. So, the best thing to do was to cancel, to have boundaries up. I get a lot of messages on a daily basis, people asking for free readings. And the thing is, I would love to be able to give free readings to everybody, but this is my work, I spend time every day doing these daily videos. Now I'm doing the monthlies, which that takes a lot of time to do. So I am giving something for free. So I had one girl message me saying, hi, can you do me a reading? I promise I'll pay for the next one. And it's like, all right, okay, yeah, I'm just going to take that. And I need to have healthy boundaries. Yes, I want to help everybody, but I can't, And the thing is, when you often give things away free, if I was to do a free reading for somebody, the respect and the honor isn't there in what I'm doing, you know, and also in what they're getting. You know, people don't respect things that come for free. You know, I keep my prices very reasonable for what I do, and you know, it's a respect. There's an equal exchange of energy when you are giving something and getting something in return. So this is, sorry, I'm not just talking about the way I work. I'm talking about this is how to set healthy boundaries. You know your limits. From now on, I am not answering messages when it's out of work hours because I was doing it and it was depleting me. So this is about, look at areas within your life where you don't have healthy boundaries, you know, where you maybe don't know how to say no. That is a massive thing within us, you know. A lot of us don't know how to say no. So within this solar eclipse, like I say, it's making us look at where we need healthy boundaries, and it's making us look as well at where we are being steered within our life rather than where we are being spiritually guided. Because, you know, it's like you don't have to follow the flock. You know, when we see these sheepdogs and they're herding the sheep into a field, that's the image that they're showing me there, and the sheep just go along with it, you know, because that's all they know, you know. And people say dumb sheep, and you know, none of us are dumb, you know, none of us are at all. But it's like, you know, sometimes we feel this need to just follow what everybody else is doing, so we are being steered in a direction that we probably wouldn't go ourselves. So this is saying that within this solar eclipse, I feel there will be signs that you will become aware of things, of where you are being spiritually guided and where you are being steered. So you'll be able to sort of see the difference there as well. And what they're saying and what they came out with, which I thought was really funny, I love how they put little twists on things, is this solar eclipse is going to highlight where things are not right so that they need to be left. So where I really feel it's quite a revealing solar eclipse, this, you know, which is quite bizarre because the solar eclipse actually sort of hides stuff, doesn't it? But yeah, there's a lot of revelations, I feel, you know, and anything that you feel is not right, like I say, we've talked about this soul pain, anything that is causing that, you know, needs to be left behind, because, you know, it will carry on causing this pain. And this is quite an unhealthy way of living as well, you know. Now, you can, you know, I see it so many times, and you can eat quinoa, you can go to the gym, you know, you can do all of this. But if you are living in an unhealthy energy, in an unhealthy environment, you know, anything else is futile, because your body and your soul work together. So it's no use looking like Charles Atlas if you were surrounded by negative energy, you know. That is going to be unhealthy for you as well, you know. And it's like I say, it's getting the balance right between the two of them. So this solar eclipse, I feel, it's about us speaking our truth, which has been a common sort of theme for quite a while now, and it's about this bringing in harmony, and it's like the end of apathy as well, you know. We have to release any tensions that we have, you know. If we think if something is tense, it's more likely to break, you know. If we resist something, it persists. So by, you know, letting go of any tensions, letting go of any resistance, you know, and surrendering to the love and the opportunities that are there for us, you know, this is when we are going to be able to move on in a much healthy way, and where the pain, any pain that we're feeling, is going to diminish, you know. So this is about looking at what helps us versus what hinders us. So it's a real having like a sort of looking down and looking at things properly as well. And honestly, sorry, I need a energy is really, really high at the moment, you know. So a lot of times when we pick up energy, those that understand energy and those that work with energy will know what I'm saying, but it takes a while to actually figure this out. And a lot of the heavy or emotional energy that we feel, you know, within a daily basis isn't actually belonging to us. It's belonging to our friends, our lovers, you know, our partners, our family, or whatever. And I feel with this solar eclipse, we're going to recognize, that this isn't ours, and it's time to sort of drop the burdens of other people as well, and stop taking on what other people feel. I mean, those of you that are empaths will understand this. When you get something, it's like, right, okay, is this mine or is this somebody else's? And when you're dealing with people on an energetic basis all of the time, you can get pretty zapped, I've seen me, there was one day I was reading for this guy, and the whole time I was reading, my foot was throbbing. It was really, really painful. And I was like, what's wrong with my foot? And then I was like, hold on a second. This hadn't actually started until I started this reading. So at the end of the reading, I just said to him, be very careful about your foot, would you? Because I'm getting and he went, oh, I broke it 2 days ago. I'm actually a plaster. So I was like, right, okay, so I was taking on that pain. So, but we do this on a daily basis, and we don't realize that some of this psychic debris and this psychic heaviness, and this heavy emotional feelings that we can get are not ours. They're people that we're connected with. So this, again, is about having healthy boundaries. And if we sort of take the brave step and we open our heart, and we choose love, despite any fears that we're having, then this is when we will have the chance to heal the past. And the universe will give us gifts, where we can give and receive love. So there's a lot of, I feel that there could be endings around this solar eclipse, because solar eclipses are all really about that. It's tying up loose ends, and it's moving forward in the direction of our choosing, or it's giving us the chance to, because when we see the world in a different way, and we see how highly meaningful it is, and we sort of follow the light, this is when our life can change drastically as well, so we can fly if we want to, we just need to let go of whatever is weighing us down, Now the moon is going into Pisces, and Pisces is a very spiritual, intuitive sign, Pisces are all very psychic, and I like that, I'm very sensitive as well, and they work from an inner out, so Pisces is a very emotional sign, and Pisces feels more comfortable in this like dreamy sort of poetic life, Pisces is very art based, very culture based, very music based, it's Pisces is about the arts, and about the inner fulfillment that we get from them, because a lot of times, if we are artists, we draw on spirit for our inspiration. So Pisces is all about gaining inspiration, having this artist inside of us, let go, being able to express ourselves through our art, through our music, through our words, it's like I say, it's a very dreamy, very bohemian type. I really, really love Pisces. I have some of my dearest friends are Pisces, and within this new moon, which is linked with the solar eclipse, it's like there will be a desire to leave the conventional behind, leave what is readily accepted, and leave the harsh rules of living that actually come in with that as well, because Pisces sees that there is a better world, and Pisces can sometimes struggle in this reality of this box and constrictions, constrictions, so this is about like, as we let more of our truth in, then this is giving us a chance where we can release love easier, and what they said to me, which I thought was very funny considering some of the cards that there's been this week, is that love and truth together can move mountains. Now, this week I've been talking, I did speak to a client yesterday, about mountains. Took some absolutely amazing pictures and shared them with me of the mountains, and it was, you know, it was absolutely beautiful because the mountains have been very symbolic this week. So I just feel that this solar eclipse is about, you know, love and truth together, authenticity, and, you know, allowing your soul to express itself. And that may be, endings can be painful, but they're not as painful as prolonging it. You know, we're prolonging the pain at the moment, and I feel this is what this is about. Okay, so I hope that made sense. So sorry, that's even, you know, 15 minutes in before we've even started the reading there. So the cards for today, 2 fell out. Now, I mean, what I noticed was this week has all, bar the Ace of Cups, we have had major arcanas every single day, you know, and these are the important ones, you know. These are the tough guys. These are the ones that mean business. And today, the 2 cards that we have got out are the Emperor and the Magician. Now, the Emperor and the Magician together is, wow, the energy of this is absolutely amazing. And I really, really love it, because this is about, right, okay, start today for your long term. This is what it's talking about. And it's saying that you have the power to do this. And, you know, when we look at magic, okay, magic, when I talk about it, it's not like sort of, you know, yeah, look, I'm pulling a rabbit out of a hat, you know. That is sleight of hand. That is, you know, that is a trick in some way. Real magic and true magic is when we align our intent with our energy. And this is when we start to manifest, when we get on the when we get on the vibration of aligning our thoughts and our intentions with the energy that we emit and the energy that is around us. This is when we produce magic. And this is like within manifesting, within the law of attraction, where you know that there's going to be a car park space for you, where you know you're going to be guided to where you want to go because you believe and you have that intent. You have that vision. You can see yourself driving into that car park space in the supermarket or whatever. And when you get there, that exact car park space is there, you know. So this is what real magic is. And the 2 of these together, what this is saying with the Emperor is this is willpower. You know, the Emperor has the energy. He has the enthusiasm. He is going after what he wants. He is taking control here, you know. His will is strong. Where his will has been weak in the past, his will is now strong, you know. We have the eagle here, and, you know, we've mentioned eagles before, and, you know, they're very, very powerful creatures. And eagle eyes as well, you know, they can see a lot. So this is saying, you know, this can see from a higher perspective, you know. We have the ram here, which the ram is like sort of, this is connected to the earth. He's holding on to this wheel, which is the wheel of destiny. So this is like, he is making changes and he is going with, prepared to go with where the universe is guiding him. And he is not letting anything stand in his way because he is in warrior mode. And this is where he will start to create the life that he wants as well, you know, where he is using his will. He is using his brute force as well, you know, his energy, because it's meant to be Thor, I think, on this. There's a Viking, and it's linked with the Norse god for Thor. And like I say, this is, you know, it's about him like summoning the strength from the universe, you know, to make him stronger. Sort of like a Samson in a way, you know, this is it. He is now strong. And this is like, you know, it's such a beautiful, powerful card, and this is about, right, okay, this is my life and I am living it, and nobody is going to stop me, you know. And this is about, he is creating change here, you know. He is determined that he has the braveness, he has the courage to actually make these changes that are desperately needed within his life. But when we team him with the Magician, this is when he uses his willpower and he uses his magic as well, you know. Now, this magician, it's linked with sort of the Jewish Kabbalah, and like I say, it's all about creation. And if we have a look, we've got these rocks, haven't we? We've got these mountains in here, and he is sitting and he is summoning, he is bringing down the energy of the world, you know, of the universe, you know. He is guided. He has his angel wings here which are helping him, you know. He's as above, so below. This is it. He is understanding the universal energies. He is understanding the magic, and he is tapping into that to use it to create the life that he wants. Now, when he will be uttering things, and this is when his words, you know, his words will become reality. Whatever he says will actually manifest, you know. His thoughts will become things because he is tapped into this, you know. He is the ultimate mystic. And what it says within the book with this card is, walk my roads and I shall show you your nature as a conduit of the divine, that you may project your will into the world and make it anew with each word that you speak. So this is about your intentions, you know, actually letting your intentions out and drawing on this strength from the divine, you know, and you will then become this mystic, you know, by using your power. And because we all have the ability to do this, you know, we all have the ability. Nobody is massively gifted. This is a gift we are all born with, but just not a lot of people use it, you know. So like I say, the magic in this is just absolutely fantastic. So the two of these together are saying there is a determination coming in with these two cards, a massive determination coming in with them. And this is about you having all of the tools to change your life in the most drastic, amazing way at your disposal, because now you are strong. Like I say, we've talked about this dark night of the soul, you know, and you are coming out of that. It's when you understand, right, okay, this is because change is needed. So you are ready, you know, you are ready to go into battle here, you know, and that is it. And you are fighting for your life in a way, for the life that you want to live. By teaming this with magic as well, it's the perfect like alchemic mix, and this is when you will be able to do anything. So there's a massive determination coming in with this, you know. And it's like, you know, I'm sort of expecting like seeing you know, like sort of lightning bolts and stuff like that, you know, because it's summoning up what is there. This is not in any way bad magic, you know. This is connecting with the earth, you know, connecting with Mother Nature, connecting with Father Sky, and actually just channeling and drawing down the energy and drawing up the energy of both of them, you know, because Father Sky and Mother Nature, you know, they are our parents, they are our true parents, and they are the ones that want us to succeed, because that is what parents do, and they will be there to give us our love and our care and our nurture, you know. So like I say, absolutely fabulous cards those. It's like, they're like, wow, you know. And I really feel within this, can you see the eyes within this? It's like finally starting to see the world and your world as it is. And if it's the way you want it, then great. If it's not, then this is when you have the power to actually change it as well. I'm going on in the next couple of weeks. I'm actually going on a San Pedro ceremony, which I'm really looking forward to, you know. And when I've been reading up about it, it's saying that, you know, you will see the world in a completely different way, you know. So I'm really looking forward to that. But that again is using nature's gifts in order to enhance our lives, you know. So I will tell you all about that when that comes in. So they're the two cards for Friday, you know. So I really feel this weekend is linked, and that's why I'm only doing a couple of more cards for the Saturday, because I only pulled one Osho card and one Colette Baron Reid card, because I knew this reading would go on a while. So sorry about that. So the card that I pulled, the Osho card, is Adventure. Now we've had this before, you know, and this is about going on an adventure. And you know, when we think adventure is a journey, you know, a journey of discovery, a journey of exploration. And I really feel that with these cards, it's like, right, okay, you're ready to go into that now. And you know, this, if we have a look, it's like there's a child in this, you know. And what this is saying is that in order to go into this adventure, and in order to go into this magical rainbow, you know, like sort of opening that is there, this rainbow portal that is there for us, which this solar eclipse will, they always bring a portal, you know, and it's up to us whether we step through it. But what this is saying is, don't let fear come in, you know, step into it like a child, you know, with wonder and with innocence. You know, children don't have expectations. If they're curious, and if they see something that excites them or looks inviting, they will actually go for it. And this is what we need to do, you know. We don't need to project what we think might happen, you know, when we walk into that rainbow. You know, what we just need to do is be curious enough to actually take that step, you know, and don't let any fear of the unknown hold us back. Because adventure has nothing to do with planning. It has nothing to do with maps and stuff like that, you know, and being organized. It's adventure is like, it's about breaking patterns that we've already had, breaking our, changing our behavior, you know, and actually just allowing what is going to happen, you know, and just being, you know, a little bit in awe of that as well, you know. So this is about like stopping any conditioning, because if we plan everything to a T, that is not an adventure. You know, an adventure is when you set forth, you know, into the unknown. And this is when explorers find new countries, new civilizations, and new ways of living, you know. And this is by actually taking that risk and going out on an adventure. And adventures are exciting, you know, because you don't know what's coming next. If you plan everything to a T and you know exactly what's going to happen, you know, then where is the fun in that? You know, this is an adventure, and it's like I say, it's a beautiful, beautiful energy coming back, you know, with this. And what this is saying is, like, you know, within childhood, you know, this is when we are molded in a way, you know. And what is sad is that a lot of us, as we get into adulthood, we lose our sense of magic. And this is what this card is saying. You need to get back to that, you know. And when we move into the unknown with the spirit of a child, this is when we are open, you know. We are trusting, you know. We may even be a bit vulnerable, but that is an amazing thing. Being vulnerable is beautiful, you know. And even the simplest things in life can become an adventure, you know. If you're not looking to the clock and everything, you know, you miss so much if you are living to a plan all the time. Now, what Osho says about this card is that Zen says truth has nothing to do with authority. Truth has nothing to do with tradition. Truth has nothing to do with the past. Truth is a radical personal realization. You have come to it. Knowledge is certain. The search for personal knowing is very, very hazardous. Nobody can guarantee it. If you ask me if you can guarantee anything, I say you cannot guarantee you anything. I can only guarantee danger. That much is certain. I can only guarantee you a long adventure with every possibility of it going astray and never reaching your goal. But one thing is certain, the very search will help you grow. I can guarantee only growth. Danger will be there, sacrifice will be there. You will be moving every day into the unknown, into the uncharted, and there will be no map to follow, no guide to follow. Yes, there are millions of dangers, and you can go astray and you can get lost. But that is the only way that you are going to be able to grow. Insecurity is the only way to grow. To face danger is the only way to grow. To accept the challenge of the unknown is the only way to grow. So this is it, you know. If you don't make changes, everything will be as it is. You know, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And if you're happy with that, then that's great, you know. But if you know that there is something more, and if you are looking for something more, then you need to set out on this adventure, because you now have the magic, you now have the power, you know, to actually do this. Because if you stay the same, then things will stay the same, you know. And like I say, if you're happy with that, that is great, you know. But if you're not, then this is a time when you are hearing your calling, and the no better time to actually go after it is during a solar eclipse. We only have a couple this year. Last year we had quite a few, which were very powerful and profound. This year we don't have many. So there's the chances of you going after this dream and after this authentic life are narrowing down this year, you know. So it's about grasping it when you can take it. Now, the Colette Baron Reid card that I picked for today is orphaned in the protection position. Now, this is a 5, and 5 always talks about, you know, struggles. We're halfway, you know, like I say, we're halfway with this. And this comes in as a fear of abandonment or a fear of abandoning something as well. You know, it's not a very nice card. It's quite a cold card. And if we have a look, it's sort of like she's in a nest there, and with it being in the protection position, it's like, you know, she's trying to cling on this next nest, but she's going to fall out. And what this card talks about, it talks about like how we create sort of inappropriate family structures, you know, in order to conceal old wounds. So this is about like sort of old patterns that we have been brought up to know. When I mentioned a child before, this is when we are conditioned when we're children. And what happens within this is we are brought up around unhealthy alliances and unhealthy ways of being, you know, and we carry them on within our life because that is what we've been led to believe is right. But then a lot of times this can cause pain. I was talking yesterday with a friend, and we were talking about this Iraq trip that's coming out, and how the female structure over there is very different, and how me and her has been seen as these quite strong, independent women is actually quite threatening, you know, over there to both the males and females, because it goes against their structure. And we then got on talking, because they have a hierarchy, you know, and it's the head of the family is the most wise or whatever, and in a lot of cases that's great, and we all look to our adults for advice. But then what we've got to do, and I think in Western world now, is we look at our parents, and, you know, yes, they got a lot of stuff right, but they also got a lot of stuff wrong. And it's about breaking the cycle. This doesn't mean you don't love them or don't, you know, respect what they've done. But what it means is, hold on, that's not actually working, and that doesn't work in how I want to live my life. So this is about us breaking the cycle, because if it carries on and carries on, you know, then our children are going to live in the way where we do, where we are sort of like, you know, I would like to change things, but I can't, you know, that's the way it is. And then their children will carry on the same. So we develop these patterns. So this is saying, this is about breaking them down, you know, like I say, fighting against it, because this is also a form of authority. And not all relationships will be dysfunctional like this. So it's learning another way to be. And it's recognizing, this card is saying, recognize what patterns you are permitting. Now, in the beginning, when I said what I channeled for the solar eclipse, this is what they'd said, wasn't it? You know, it was like, you know, look at where we are deluding ourselves, look at, you know, a change in our story as well, you know, and putting up healthy boundaries. So these cards are tying in exactly with that, because life wants to love us. Life wants us to love it, you know. But we've got to let it. We are the only ones that can let it. You know, I can't tell you what to do. You have to feel it, and you have to see it, and you have to actually, you know, get your willpower together with your intellect and draw on the messages that you're getting from the divine and actually go after the life you want. You know, I say this within a reading. People say, will this happen? And this could happen if you take this course of action. But if you don't take that course of action, you have free will and things will change, you know. So it's this is what I feel is coming in massively within this. It's breaking free these structures, and actually you stand and saying, right, okay, I am gonna form my future. Now, I'm just quickly going to do these because, like I say, you know, I've run way over. And the card for Saturday is the Chariot. Now, look at that card. The power. This is actually the reason why I bought these cards. I seen this card and I got hit with the power of it. And it was like, right, okay, I need that deck. And if we have a look at this is sort of looking at sort of the Roman Empire as well. And look at the Roman Empire, you know, how much they changed our life, and you know how things that they done then are massively used and affecting our life now, you know, in a good way. You know, they were innovators, they had a vision and they were prepared to go after it. And within this card, you know, what they're saying here is like, you have sort of spirit guiding you here, so use the power of spirit's wings as well. Don't know if any of you getting any of you in England, we have what is it? It's like a storm called Doris at the moment, and I just think that's the most ridiculous. Like, Doris seems like a storm that would be scared of itself, you know. But somebody sent me a video yesterday of the wind blowing this guy, and this guy was running along the street, and he didn't want to run, but the wind was blowing him that fast, and it was really funny. So this is what this is like. It's like, use the power of spirit, use the wind that they are giving you, use the energy they are giving you to propel yourself forward, because this is now you taking hold of the reins, you deciding, right, this is where I want to go in my life, you know, and you actually steering your own ship. And I think because of this, you will start to get acclaim. You're breaking through the walls. Now, what is quite interesting about this as well, you know, I really feel there's a victory coming here. You know, this is about, like, you know, really setting off in the direction of your dreams, but you guiding the way, you calling the shots, you know. So this is all about stepping into your power, which we have with these. So like I say, another 3 major arcana for this weekend. So there's big stuff happening. I said, expect the unexpected. Now, he is protected, you know, and he's protected with a golden shield. Gold is gold is the strongest color to protect ourselves with. His heart, his throat, his solar plexus is protected there. So he has the power to do it. He has the power to speak his mind, and he has the power to open his heart as well, you know. And this, I feel, will massively heal him because we have a lot of blue coming there, and we have like rose petals sort of being scattered as his feet. So I really feel this is sort of a spirit welcoming you as well, you know, welcoming you into this new world that you're going to venture in, because it's like, right, okay, there you are, we've been waiting for you, you know. That's what I'm getting with this. So absolutely fabulous. But when I'm looking at this, it looks like he's parting in some way. If we have a look at the walls there. And what is interesting is the card for Sunday is the 7 of Wands, and the 7 of Wands is actually depicting Moses within this. And this is Moses, and what happened within Moses is he led the children from slavery to the promised land. So these cards, can you see how they're all tying in, you know, even down to the child? It's like, it's blowing my mind, to be honest, you know. And he is rising up here. He is a freedom fighter, and he fought not just for the freedom of himself, but the freedom of others as well, you know, to break the chains of restriction, to break any sort of slavery or manipulation or control. And we have these warriors here that are ready to fight him, you know. But it's like, I mean, if we look at him, it's like he's sort of like, oh shit, you know, he's got his power back, and this is it, you know. So I feel that there will be people around you who are not expecting you to have this level of courage and valor and bravery to just say, no, that is it, you know. And I'm sort of getting here, like, you know when Jesus went in the temple and just sort of, you know, kicked everything over, and it's like, I've had enough, you know. And this is it. And he's not kicking things off because he wants to form a fight or anything like that. He's kicking things off, so it's like, get out of my way, you know. So this is get out of your own way, get anybody that is in your way, get them out. You don't have to fight them, but you part waves. This is what Moses done, you know. He parted waves with them, and he is standing there and he's strong. And again, we have this lightning, and this lightning is like sort of, right, okay, I've had this lightning flash, I've had this epiphany, you know, and this is what I'm going to do. And nobody is going to stop me, because you aren't doing this to cause hurt or destruction or pain. You are doing this because this is what you have to do in order to live the life that you are meant to. You know, you need to break the shackles. So there's a real, like, sort of, with these cards, the energy in them is absolutely fabulous. And I feel you may come up against a fight, you may come up against opposition with this, but you don't care now. You don't care, because you know where it is you want to go. You are determined, and nothing is going to stop you. Nothing at all. So, right, okay, they just suddenly abruptly stopped there. Yeah. So, there you go. They are the cards for Friday, the weekend, and, you know, a little bit about the solar eclipse. And I hope they made sense. Right, I'm getting here. There could be begging and there could be pleading. You know, there could be promises. There could be, you know, stay and this will happen, or, you know, stay how things are and this will happen, or whatever. But it's like, no, that's it, you know. Freedom fighter, fighting for your freedom, fighting for, fighting to get to the promised land as well, I think. I think this is what it is, because it's like, you know that it's there, and it's going to be an adventure to get there. But at the end of the day, it's like your bags are packed, you're ready, you have everything you need. And I feel this is, you have everything you need within inside you as well. You know, like I say, this is, you know, magic is the intent and the energy. So this is putting them through together, and this is this big ball of magic, you know, that is coming, and this. It's like childlike excitement as well. I'm really, really enjoying this. So, yeah, so that's it. Looks like it will be a big weekend. You know, please let me know what goes on, because I really feel it will be eventful. Expect the unexpected this weekend. Just see what happens, you know, surrender and see what happens, you know, and go where you are guided. And I really feel that it's like this sign's going to be popping up, you know, before we get to Sunday, you know, with the solar eclipse. I think it's Sunday, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's Sunday. Sorry, I'm a little bit off with my dates at the moment. You know, every day is just merging into one. But I absolutely love those cards today, and I hope you did too. This week has been such a strange week, and these tarot apocalypsis cards, they're fabulous, very, very powerful. But please try and stay grounded during these energies as well. You know, somebody did ask, can these energies cause anxiety and panic attacks and stuff like that? They can cause anxiety. A panic attack is when you allow a panic attack to come. So try and just breathe through it, you know. But it can, you know, and a lot of times we mistake good energy for bad energy. Now, if we think when we are scared, it's like our palms sweat, our heart starts to race, our mouth goes dry, we can get a little bit tense, we can get this tingle. But when we are excited, we have exactly the same physical symptoms. It's just our brain that tells us whether this is fear or excitement. So if you are feeling this sort of anxiety or whatever, you know, you're feeling this energy, look at it and see it as this is excitement. This is nothing to be scared of. Any panic attacks then should stop, because the panic attack will then come because we follow the fear. But when we know that there's nothing to fear, and this is just our body reacting in a way that, yes, something's happening. You know, I mean, when I connect to spirit, I feel it. I feel it through my body, you know. And at one time, when I was very, very young, and when I was doing this without knowing and understanding what it was, you know, I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, here, get some antidepressants, you know, you're depressed, you need, and you know, now I know it was like, yeah, God, my crown chakra was opening, you know, but it was like, right, okay, stop that now. and it didn't need to be stopped, it just needed to be explained, you know. So like I say, it's how our mind and how our thoughts define something. So this energy is very, very powerful, but use it to your advantage, you know. Soak it in, stay grounded, rest with it, you know, and know that it is there to help you, not to hinder you in any way. And this is what we're defining this weekend: what is helping us within our quest and what is hindering us. And like I say, if something doesn't feel right, then it needs to be left. I love that one. That's another t-shirt one. Okay, so have an absolutely fabulous weekend. If anybody would like a reading with me, please get in touch. I will not be working this weekend, so I will get back in touch with you on Monday. You know, I'm having to take some time off this weekend because, like I say, the energies are very powerful, and I just need to be Tanya for a bit, you know. So I'm thoroughly looking forward to that. But I will, please, you know, if you email, get in touch. I will Monday morning, as soon as I get back to work, I will get back in touch with you and book you in for a reading. Okay, so I hope this has made sense. Sorry it's a little bit longer than normal, but I've got to give what comes out, and that was it. So have a fabulous weekend, and I'm sending a lot of love this weekend as well, you know. And it's like, I'm actually really proud, you know, when I'm looking at these cards. I'm like, yeah, get in, they're finally doing it, you know. So you've got me behind, I've got the banners and stuff like that, you know, cheering you on and spurring you on as well. Okay, so I'll see you on Monday with the cards of today. Satnam.